coming to Project Hope Sri Lanka. Now the idea of Project Hope Sri Lanka is I made a trip to Bhavna. Even before I came down for IFA, I always had it in mind. In fact, I must say, and this is an extremely important thing to say, that it's even slower in my country. I'm being a celebrity, having access to process a project, to express an intent, and within 72 hours get feedback from the government saying that you're welcome, we would like you here, we would like you to come and participate and create a project, and in any way we can help you for rehabilitation, we're there behind you. Gives a great sense of confidence and also shows that there's a certain sincerity of the people, the local people here, of Sri Lankans, to actually go out and make a difference and do some rehabilitation. So it's not that they're celebrating a hollow victory, because honestly a war really, nobody wins. No matter who wins a war, both sides lose. You always look at the number of casualties, you look at the number of, whether they're Sri Lankans or Tamils, whether they're Tamils or Sinhalese dead, there's still people dead, there's still people lost to families. So really nobody wins a war. But the beauty of it, the way you can actually win is to overcome what created it in the first place. To overcome the differences, to overcome the hatred, to overcome all the pain and anguish, to actually express and show people that, we are there for each other. My personal experience in the past has been that a lot of the Sinhalese people who went with me and people I spoke to, young people who are working now, were initially received with a lot of anger, pain, suspicion, hatred, because this is what these people have been growing up with for 30 years. 30 years of war creates that. But the more there is an interaction, the more there are bridges, the more people actually see each other, they realize you're just like me and you really want to help. And there's so much love. It's a beautiful reconciliation that you see suddenly happening. And I'm seeing that every time I go there. So first time I went to Vavuniya, what was amazing was I had this thing in my mind that maybe it'll be a very structured visit. I won't have free access. It'll be very controlled, is what I had in my mind, very honestly. But what was so pleasantly surprising was there was complete open access. I went and I saw what I wanted to see. I said that, hey, I want to work with the most marginalized region. I picked the region. I spoke to Mrs. Charles, who's the GA there, and said, okay, which are the most marginalized people? Now the interesting thing about Devi is, you had a lot of children, girls, in India in the north that are considered a burden. Unlike Sri Lanka, where there's a lot more parity between the male child and the girl child. In India, the girl child is considered absolutely a burden and undesirable. So it's so bad the situation is that a lot of families think it's okay to just dump the child on the streets, to dump the child on the steps of a temple and say, let God take care of her. A lot of the kids are forced into begging, the girls. Food is given to the male members of the family and the leftovers are distributed to the girls. I've spoken personally and worked with 7-year-olds, 8-year-olds, 9-year-olds who say that if we feel hungry, our mother tells us to drink water. If we ask for food or we cry, our father beats us up. So it was a very bad situation. It's about 2 hours from Delhi, Vrindavan. I felt inspired and we started Project Devi, as a result of which today we've got 1,500 kids off the streets, not being married off or sold at the age of 13 or 14, nourished. We take care of their health care, their entire rehabilitation, we take care of feeding them 3 meals a day, and today they're strong, independent, vibrant, beautiful girls blossoming, feeling a certain strength, feeling the soul, the essence, the spirit of Devi meaning the goddess. You can change one girl's life. All you have to pay is 60 Indian rupees a day. And in 60 Indian rupees a day, you're giving a kid an education, healthcare, food, 3 meals a day, and an entire life, an opportunity to learn computers, to learn martial arts, to learn cultural dancing, to blossom, to grow into something special. Now that you might turn around and say, hey, what, 60 rupees a day, all I have to do is cut one check, make a few visits once in a while, talk to my children, the one I sponsor, I'll sponsor 5 children. That's the idea of an umbrella project, where you can create a platform where a lot of people can come forward and say, hey, I may not be, a 100 million rupee company, but I'd still like to come forward and help. And you can. So that's the basic structure that I try and create with the projects that I do to involve and encourage participation. So how does Project Hope fit in? What is the concept? The concept is to create a school that within the existing syllabus, within the existing Tamil school system of the north, the government-run system, without upsetting that rhythm and balance, because there is an existing system, the kids graduate from there, they get into higher education easily. There is an existing system for that. So without upsetting the syllabus, to create a great environment for complete rehabilitation and education and healthcare for all these children. The capacity of that school used to be about 300 something. With immediate rehabilitative work, we'll be able to take it to 500. Eventually, it will serve 1,000 or more children. And when I say eventually, I still mean in a short window of time. The idea is to go hammer and tongs, even if it takes a lot of commitment from me, to push as hard as I can, to make sure the first project's out there. And the minute the first project's out there, it becomes a gateway, it becomes a prototype, it becomes a sample, that a lot of people can come together and say, hey, we can study this, these were the problems that you had, how can we create these solutions, how do we transfer this, how do we pick this entire concept up and we replicate it in so and so place. It becomes easy because you've already done it once. It just becomes a matter of copying it and replicating it elsewhere and then replicating it elsewhere. That's why the urgency. We need to do it now, where the need is now. I feel that there's a corridor of time. The people are looking for peace and rehabilitation. If in that corridor of time there's a lot of development that touches them directly, that changes the quality of their lives on a direct basis, they will move further in the direction of peace. Else you will see a revolving door syndrome, where you will see people coming out looking to peace, feeling disappointed because the time corridor has been way too long, going back towards fundamentalism, going back towards separatism, going back towards negativity. So this corridor of time is an extremely important one. It's extremely important that you Sri Lankan people work now.
Immediately what we need help is turnkey projects like the computer lab and the science lab. So if we can get people to come forward with contributing that, saying that, hey, I'm a computer company and I'd like to come forward and associate with your project, we'd like to put in a computer lab. Or somebody would come and say that we'd like to put in a science lab for the kids. Excellent. So at this point, at early stages, these are the two things that we've identified. I will be giving in Nimalka a list of further things that we need, and hopefully the next press meet will be a little more celebratory. We'll have achieved a lot more. I'm pretty happy with what we already have. We've already got a preschool playground, we've got architects, the team looking at BOQs and construction. We've got our basics going forward. But yeah, we're going to need all the best wishes, we're going to need all the support and all the backing, I think. It's very easy to find problems, point fingers. It's very difficult to actually get out of an air-conditioned office, step out under the sun and make things happen. So I'm doing it with the complete integrity and honesty of my heart. I'm hoping that everybody else will respond the same way.
This is more your project than my project. I live in another country. I've come here out of whatever affinity I have for the people and the goodness of my heart, and seeing that there is some potential to do something here. But honestly, this is your country, your people, your project, your future. This is where you people get involved.